Okay, put a finger down if when you were 15 years old, you woke up at 3 in the morning and saw your older sister sitting in the corner of your room watching you sleep, and when you asked her what the fuck she was doing, she said nothing and walked away, and then the next day at school, an older girl on your cheer team told you that your sister was talking about you in class, saying how she wanted to fucking kill you, and so that day after school, you went into her room, and taped behind her door was a poem about how she wanted to smother you with a pillow, and you realized that she was not standing in the corner of your room just watching you sleep the night before. She was actually trying to fucking kill you. Your turn.
Put a finger down if in the first grade it was common knowledge that your butt crack was always out at circle time to everyone except for you, and then one day this boy asked to be your boyfriend and you're like, oh my gosh, I haven't had a boyfriend since preschool, so you say yes, and the next day he sits behind you at circle time and he leans into your ear really close and whispers, can I stick my finger in your butt crack? And you're like, oh my god, my butt crack's out, and then you're like, oh my god, my boyfriend wants to stick his finger in my butt crack. So you say yes, and he sticks his finger in your butt crack, and then when he pulls it out, he smells it.
Okay, so put a finger down if your senior year of high school you had to retake chemistry because you failed it the first time. So the second time around you became friends with the sophomore girl that sat behind you in class. You guys became really, really close, and she tells you that she has a troubled home life. So you feel really bad for her and try to get her out of the house as much as possible. You guys hang out all the time and do all kinds of fun stuff together, even bring her around your family. Then one day she texts you and asks you if her boyfriend could shower at your house because he got pepper sprayed. You're like, what happened? She said his mom pepper sprayed him because she thought he was an intruder. This doesn't sit right with you. So you're like, no, sorry, he can't shower here. She's like, okay, that's fine. Then she texts you a few hours later and asks if you and your boyfriend want to go to the mountains with her and her boyfriend. Again, doesn't sit right with you. So you say no, maybe another time. Okay, that's fine. The next day you wake up to their mugshots plastered all over the internet because they murdered both of her grandparents, hid their bodies in the rooms they were killed in, caulked the doors shut, invited friends over and partied for an entire week before they stole the grandparents' car, drove to his family's house, tried to murder them, and then ran away and tried to kill themselves at their friend's house. And now you have trust issues and can't make new friends because you're scared that they might murder you.
Okay, put a finger down if you used to live in an apartment with your boyfriend, and since it was your apartment, you would like walk around naked all the time because it's your apartment, who cares, it's comfortable. And one day you and your boyfriend were sitting on your bed and you were eating a burger and you were naked and you were like, babe, I don't feel very well, and he was like, oh my god, are you okay? And you were like, yeah, I think so. So you like lean over to fart because you think it might make you feel better, and then like pure liquid shit comes out of you, and since you were naked there was nothing stopping it, so it just got all over the bed like 10 inches from your boyfriend sitting right next to you. And then so you had to call your mom and tell her that you shit the bed and ask for money for new sheets because you were too poor to afford new sheets. So then you and your boyfriend had to go to Target at 11 p.m. to buy new sheets, and he called you Poopy Girl the whole time, and now all your friends call you Poopy Girl. Oops.
Put a finger down if your dad had a vasectomy right after your older sister was born, and then 4 years later, your older brother unexpectedly passes away, and both of your parents are devastated and are constantly praying for a miracle to get through the pain. And then your mom starts to ask her neighbor for her homemade iced tea every single day, and then the neighbor suggests that she might be pregnant, and your mom just laughs and says that there's no way. And then your mom goes to the doctor and finds out that she's 5 months pregnant, and then everyone was joking, saying it was the milkman's baby. And then fast forward, her mom's about to give birth and she has a dream that the umbilical cord is wrapped around the baby's neck. So she tells her doctor, and then her doctor doesn't believe her, and then she gives birth and the umbilical cord is wrapped around the baby's neck. So the baby almost dies, and then after all of that, the baby looks a little different for a few months, so everyone was questioning whether or not she was okay. And then the baby turned out okay. It was me. I was the baby. Like, if you want to see pictures.
Put a finger down if when you were a kid you begged your parents to buy you this extremely overpriced distressed denim jacket from Abercrombie along with the matching jeans that were just covered in holes and paint splatters, and your parents were like, why would you ever want to wear this? And you were like, this is the pinnacle of fashion, people wake up. And they were like, okay, and they bought it for you and you wore it every single day. And later on that year when you went to the city with your entire family, you were in a subway station and you got distracted by this old homeless man who was yelling at people, and your family just walked off. And when you finally noticed that your family walked off, you started to freak out and you went up to this old foreign couple and you were like, can you please help me? Like, I need a phone to call my parents. And they were like, what? And they started screaming, and these two cops came over and they're like, what's going on? And the old foreign couple was like, this homeless child is trying to rob me. And I was like, what? And the cop was like, are you homeless? And I was like, no. And then the old foreign couple was like, look at his jacket, it's all ripped up. And I was like, listen lady, I'm wearing Abercrombie, you need to get a grip. And the cop started laughing and took me back to the police station where I waited 2 hours for my family to pick me up.
a finger down if while in college during your sophomore year you were accidentally involved in an LAPD sting operation because your apartment complex got robbed and your apartment got broken into, and the guy who broke into your apartment stole your wallet and then used your ID to find you on Instagram and ask you out on a date. And so then once you were sure it was the guy who broke into your apartment, you called the police, and the police were like, oh my god, this is so good, go on the date. And you were like, what? And then they were like, no, do it, just trust us. And so then you arranged an entire sting operation with them where you'd give them a tip off so that they could come and arrest him. And so then he got arrested right in front of you and went to jail. And so you called your mom thinking she would be so proud, and she was like, oh my god, he knows where you live, he knows what you look like, and he knows how to break into your apartment, you're gonna get murdered. And you were like, oh my god, no mom, it's fine, he'll be in jail. But then after 2 days he posted bail and immediately DM'd you on Instagram.